Hi guys, I hope that you are doing great. So today I'm filming a video that was heavily requested on my college decision reactions video that I posted earlier this year. You guys have been asking me to post a stats and EC and award video. So that's what I'm going to do today. I pulled out my high school diploma, my iPad, because I need to look at last year's Common App, and then I guess we'll be good to go. I just want to say a special thank you to Abdul Kadir, who posted on my college decision reactions video a very nice comment saying, quote, "Please post a stats and EC video so we know what not to do. XD." So thank you for this nice comment, and this is for you that I'm making this video today. A little bit about me if you haven't watched my college decision reactions video. My name is David-Lior. I'm a Swiss and French student living in Geneva. I graduated high school in June 2022, so I'm officially done with high school, and I've applied to US colleges this year. I might reapply next year if I do take a gap year. I'm not really sure right now. I love playing tennis, I love playing the piano. I have a lot of activities that you will probably see in when I talk about my ECs. And this year I got accepted to Bocconi in Italy with a full scholarship, to Webster University in the US with also a full scholarship, to Connecticut College with also a very generous offer, and to quite a few other colleges, but I will put the link down below of my college decision reactions video so that you can watch it first if you haven't watched it already. Let's start with my stats. So the way things work in Switzerland, it's pretty different from the US. Basically, the scale we use is on 6, with 6 being the best grade and 0 being the lowest grade. I'm gonna stay pretty vague about my stats and extracurriculars because I just don't feel that it's just so important, so I'm going to try to give you a brief overview of what they looked like. I had a special high school curriculum because I skipped my sophomore year of high school because I spent 1 year abroad in the US, in Portland, Oregon. I also have other videos about Portland, so if you're interested, I will also put the link in the description. But basically, I only have grades for freshman year, junior year, and my senior year. So I will start with vague talk about my grade from freshman year. During my freshman year, I needed a GPA of 5 to be able to go to Portland to travel abroad during my sophomore year, and I obtained a GPA of 5.2. So that was my GPA for freshman year. During my junior year, I got a GPA of 5.5, and during my senior year, I have all the grades here. I'm going to detail the grades I got. So I had an increasing GPA throughout high school, and I think it's probably something great. On my high school diploma, I have 14 different subjects that I studied, which are noted down right there. And all the grades we got are rounded to the half. So basically, if you get a 5.3, it's rounded up to 5.5. If you get a 5.1, it's rounded up to 5. And this is how it works. It goes like this for all subjects, and then they do an average, which is basically the GPA. So for French, I got a 5.5 out of 6. Italian 5.5, English 5.5, mathematics I got a 6, physics I got a 5.5, chemistry I got a 6, biology I got a 5.5, history I got a 6, geography I got a 6, philosophy I got a 6, music I got a 5.5, law and economics, which was my major, I got a 5.5. Oh yeah, because in Switzerland you basically have a major during high school, so yeah, it's funny, I always make this comparison, but high school in Switzerland is a lot like college in the US, like a liberal arts college, because you have to study all these different subjects. Then I also got a 5.5 in architecture, and I got a 5.5 in my maturity work. So basically, maturity work is something we have to do in Switzerland during our junior and senior year. It's basically a thesis of at least, I think, 6,000 words. I'm not sure anymore, but yeah, it's basically like you can choose any topic and you just have to make a thesis about it, and you work on that throughout your junior year and finish it during your senior year, and then you have to do an oral presentation and you get a grade for that. So this is it. And so my average, my GPA for high school, the one I got as I graduated, was a 5.7 out of 6. Then for my other stats, I took the TOEFL when I was applying to colleges. I only took it one time, no preparation. I got 110 with a 27 reading, 27 listening, 28 speaking, and 28 writing. So I've always been better in speaking and writing, so that's probably why I got a better score. Now, for standardized testing, I didn't take the ACT. I think I never took a practice test, but I took the SAT. And for the SAT, I started at an 1190 when I took it for the first time as a sophomore. And eventually I got a 1520 with a score breakdown of 400 in writing, 320 in reading, and 800 in math. The 1520 was the score I used when I applied to all colleges in the US. I'm gonna go on to talk about my awards. At the time I applied, I uploaded 5 awards, which are probably gonna change this year because I got new awards. And so if I reapply, I will probably change them. But the first one I had was a leadership summit in Boston. Basically, when I traveled abroad in the US for my exchange year, my exchange program organized some contests and some competitions between exchange students, and I was selected with a few other students to go to Boston and actually visit Harvard, but I never got to do that because COVID happened, and so I had to go back to Switzerland in March, so earlier. But yeah, I was still selected, so this was the first award I had. Then for my second award, it was also related to my exchange program. As I came back from the US, there was another competition during summer, and I won, and I was selected for another summit in Switzerland this time. So this was my second award. For my third award, I got a scholarship to study in the US when I was a sophomore, and it really helped me to cover some expenses. Then for my fourth award, I talked about Extracurriculars, which was basically something you can do in a Swiss high school. They basically let you stop school earlier during your junior year, and so that's what I did last year. I was able, because I had good grades, to stop school in March and then spend April, May, and June away from school, doing internships, working, playing tennis. So this, I was not sure really where to put it, because for me it was not an extracurricular, because it was also kind of related to achievements, so that's why I put it under award. And then for my fifth award, I just put the certificate of excellence that we get in Swiss high schools. It's basically just if you get a GPA above 5, they give you a certificate just because you had good grades. So this is why I put it at last, because I know that the top US colleges are basically used to having students that have good grades, so I didn't want to put it at first. Now let's talk about my activities or extracurriculars. So the first one I put tennis, because it's basically what I love to do, why I wake up every morning. I started playing tennis when I was 6, and so I put it as my first activity. I talked about where I competed and what was my ranking. My second activity was about Acorn Prep. So Acorn Prep was a nonprofit that I created with other international students from around the world, and we started to help low-income students to prepare for the SAT and for the TOEFL. So now we stopped at the beginning of this year because just we had too much going on with the end of college applications, but we still did that for a pretty long time and we got pretty involved. So yeah, this is why I put it as my second activity. Then my third EC was being a ball boy. I did this for several tennis tournaments, and I think it was really something that I enjoyed doing. I also did that for a wheelchair tennis tournament, and I really enjoyed it. And I spent quite a lot of time in high school doing this, so that's why I decided to put it at the top of my ECs. Then for my fourth and fifth activities, I just talked about 2 internships that I got during my extramuros. So this is the 3 months away from school I spent during my junior year. And so I just talked about those 2 internships because they were both 1 month long. And so it was, pretty time consuming, and that's why I decided to put them there. For my 6th activity, I talked about being an ambassador for my exchange program. So I traveled with Education First, which is an international organization that helps exchange students travel around the globe, in the US, in the UK, in Ireland, and in many other places. And I was pretty involved with them even before I traveled abroad in Portland, Oregon. But then when I came back to Switzerland, I really tried to inspire future exchange students, to travel also. So that's why I became an ambassador. I took part in many meetings, many webinars to, just talk with future exchange students, tell them some advice, and it was really something I was involved in. It's also community service. For my 7th activity, I talked about trading. This is something I did a lot during my junior and senior year of high school. I was very interested. I was reading books. I was following online courses about trading. So it was something I was pretty involved. I was doing that alone, but it's really something that I enjoyed doing, and I consider finance as one of my career plans. So I think it was a great activity for me. Now for my 8th and 9th activities, or extracurriculars, I talked about the jobs I had. So I was a gardener during the summer. Basically, gardener is a big word, but I just worked to water some people's plants in my community. I also talked about being a dog sitter. I used to, during my junior year and during the summer between junior and senior year, I walked dogs from my neighbors around 2 times a day, so it was another part-time job I had. And the last part-time job I had during high school, I think during all high school, was being a tutor. So I tutored 2 different students, and I helped them, work on their homework and get better grades. So this was my last part-time job. And my last extracurricular was related to music. It was playing the piano. I played the piano for many years. I'm not very good at it because it's not the EC I'm the most involved in, but it's really something that I love to do. And I think in some essays I talked about playing the piano because it's really something that I love to do, and I play the piano almost every day. So that's why I wanted to mention it in my ECs, even though it's the last one. So I think this is all for my stats, my ECs, and my awards. I hope that you guys liked the video, and please, if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching.